And welcome back, everyone, to the Just Joshin podcast show. This is episode number 2. Last week was supposed to be episode 2, but because I've been so caught up on a new job that I just started, guys, I will be doing a double feature for you this week. 2 weeks ago, we had the guest of Justin Michael. Now in technically now week 2, but episode 2, we have our guest today. Her name is Shannon. So
Hello.
um, welcome, Shannon. And of course, you have me as your host. Your boy, Josh here. So, how about you introduce yourself, Shannon?
Hello, I'm Shenanigans. This podcast is going to be shenanigans, just so you know, just heads up. If you're looking for a normal conversation, it's not on this podcast.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Just a fair
Um,
warning. I feel like I should
yeah,
give them a fair warning before we get into this,
viewer
whatever we're going to talk
discretion
about.
is
All I know is
advised.
that it's the end of the night, it's late, I have a glass of wine next to me, so whatever we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I also did realize that I had participant on the entire time. I had a sidebar, and I don't know if they'll be able to see that. I hope they don't see that, but I'm sure they probably will. But it's whatever. We just started anyway, so it's fine. So what I wanted to talk about first, of course, is we always have this topic that we talk about on this podcast. So we did it with Mr. Michael, Justin, and so this is always interesting. How did we meet? That's the first always topic we talk about. I know we discussed this beforehand, and we did not honestly know where we
Okay,
met
the
at
reason
first.
why I
So
don't remember is because I met you through my younger brother because you guys did baseball together. And I think I remember meeting you by just your dad being a coach or like I don't know, a helper of a coach or something. I
yeah, he was a
believe
coach.
he was a coach and then
Yeah,
you were on the team with my brother and that was basically it. And you guys
yeah.
went out.
So it's funny that you should say that because, over the years, like your brother was like one of my best friends. And it's funny how it seems like we don't really talk or do anything anymore. But it seems like, we became more friends at this point in this time over the years. And I had like you said, that's how we met. I can remember once in a while he would invite me over to his house, whether if it was like for a cookout or like
Can I tell you
a
when we got
birthday.
closer?
When was that?
4-H. 4-H.
4-H.
And it makes
I'm
me
trying to
cringe.
remember. 4-H. I know I was in 4-H, but I'm trying to remember when you were in 4-H. Was Colin in 4-H or were you in
I
4-H
didn't
or
like 4-H. It makes me cringe. It was where the
you
home.
don't
I'm
like
sorry if anybody's in
4-H?
4-H. Nothing
4-H.
against it, but it's where the
4-H is lit.
homeschooled like weirdos go to socialize. It's great though. It's educational. You get to learn about animals. I got to show a bunny one year. I showed one of your bunnies.
Yeah, you did. I remember that. I had used to have over like 200, 300 rabbits at one point. That's something you guys didn't know about me. I'm looking at the camera. So I used to have like a bunch of rabbits when I was in 4-H. So yeah, that's how I also remember us meeting is over at like, from your brother and cookouts or birthdays or whatever it meant. And we always used to
And
play
I
man
remember when you
stuff
had your
like that.
first crush.
Yes, I also had that over there. So actually, you know what? Because we're talking about that, um, what about we talk about I know me and you have had some really crazy dating history, put it that way. That's the
Okay, part
best
of
way I
the
can put
reason
it.
why me and Josh became friends is because we vent to each other about our dating experiences. And
True.
I always ask him for advice about guys, and he asked me about advice for girls, obviously. So I already know most of his crazy stories, and he knows mine. So let's see what we'll be willing to share.
Okay, so um I to start off, obviously this is how crazy you could tell that we're gonna get into these stories.
I
I
might
have
have to get some tea
Oh,
out.
well, yeah. Tea is important. I have water here. So, um, I, for one, have had girls cheat on me, girls lie to me, girls be physically and mentally abusive to me. I've also had girls that are been put this way, they just haven't been really nice. They haven't been really nice. And so I've had really bad experiences. And I even have a this is a like really big one. I had a restraining order against one, so that's not great. But it's maybe for the best, maybe for the best. So we do have some crazy stories about certain maybe exes or people we've dated. Um, I actually have one that I always like to tell, but it's kind of messed up. It's a story, but like, what do you got, Shannon? Anything you want to add?
I don't know. um, do you want to go with your story and then I'll talk?
So like, for instance, my story, like everyone says I'm messed up for this. I'm not gonna lie, everyone says I'm messed up for this story, but like I actually I don't feel bad because of what happened. So this is a crazy story. This is an absolute crazy story. Before I met like my first love, I used to go like on dates and stuff like that, maybe coffee, all this type of stuff. And so this was before when I met my ex, and like that for of 2 years, and I didn't have confidence in myself. I really wasn't a confident guy. Even though like I played sports, I was involved. I was, pretty good at a lot of stuff. Like I just wasn't popular like when girls and stuff like that. So when I went to college, I started trying to date, and I went and met this girl at Starbucks. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this is the absolute first time. Even this is before I had my confidence thing. It's the first time I ever was like, and I try not to be like this because I'm not. I'm a very humble person. It's the first time I was like, I think I actually am out of this girl's league. I don't believe in leagues, but like I just like I had that feeling. I don't know what it was, but I was still polite. I still like took the date seriously, and I still like listened to her. And so I drove her back to her place afterwards because she had walked because she lives close by, and I found out that she actually lived in the same apartment building that my friend, my best friend at the time in college, lived at because he lived off campus but really close by. And I'll never forget what she told me. She said that don't tell the landlord this, but I'm like a month or two behind on rent. And that particular piece of the story is going to become really huge later in the story. So she invited me later on the same night to go to a friend's birthday party, like in like a town over, and I was gonna drive and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, cool. She was gonna drive with a friend. I was gonna drive by myself, blah blah. So I drive there. The night of this happening, I felt really ill. I have really bad chronic migraines, and I had one of those ones where like I actually could go to the hospital and be incapacitated. That's how bad I
Oh
get them.
no.
So I actually had the point where I was so bad, like I felt like it was gonna be coming this way out and the other way out at the same time while my head was spinning, and it felt like somebody was hammering my head. A cop saw me not feeling great. It must have like just had the intuitive to like really like stop and look. And like I said, yeah, like I'm not feeling great. I might have to get an ambulance. And so I went to the emergency room for migraine headache, believe it or not. That's how bad I get migraines. It's actually crazy. So I was in the hospital. I woke up at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and this girl texted me. Well, she actually didn't even text me. I texted her. I'm like, hey, like, how was the party? Blah blah. And she was like, good. And I'm like, hey, I was in the hospital. Like, I was really feeling like horrible. I couldn't go. And either she didn't believe me, or I think she did, and she really didn't care, and she was that heartless. So the next day I was texting her because I felt bad. I wanted to follow up and do like another date, and she didn't respond. So the whole time I was like, wanted to at least know if she was okay because I still hadn't heard from her from the previous night, and she still didn't text me. Later this night, at like around 8, 9 o'clock, I saw her in a Snap story, and she was dancing with some other dude already, and we just going on a date. And I was so salty. I'm not gonna lie, because I was like, first of all, was like thinking like I was out of this girl's league, so it's kind of insulting that she kind of like is kind of dumping me in that aspect.
So
And
I
then
guess it ugly girls have a better shot at playing men because looks can be deceiving.
Yeah, so what ended up happening was I'm like, all right, bet. So like I texted her again to see like I'm like, yo, like, are you not gonna like let me know about what's going on? And then she blocks me. She blocks me, and I'm like, wow,
Oh,
that's so rude. So I'm like, I'm
ooh.
gonna get you back. I'm gonna get you back. So I called up my friend, and I'm like, yo, tell Paul, who happens to be the apartment manager, that she's late 2 months on her rent. Sure enough, I have heard from my friend a couple days later, she got kicked out of her house. I don't care. People be like, man, you're evil for that. Yeah, okay, I'm a little evil for that. But maybe not, don't be like such a, don't be such
You think she had that coming and that was karma?
Put it this way, yeah, it was karma. I'm not gonna say like any derogatory terms towards her, but at the same time, I don't really feel bad because if you want to like be like that and treat me like horribly like that, then you know
Yeah.
what? I have like no like sympathy. So that that's one of the stories of a few times, and that's like a mild story of some of the times I've dated. But what about you? What do you have to compete
Okay.
with that
If you
story?
want to talk about people who are complete assholes, okay. Um the most recent one that I've gotten, okay? So my uncle already gave me a heads up before I started working behind a bar. He said, "I'm not trying to be a dad on you or anything. I worked in a bar before. One of the main places, since you're working as a bartender and I'm new to the town that I just moved to," he said, "never look for anybody to date behind a bar. That's not the place to find them."
I never try
So
to go out with anybody at a bar. I think everyone's like, oh, you got to go to the bar and pick somebody up. It's like, yeah, no, I'd rather meet
no,
somebody at a job or church or something like that.
don't, because
Never.
everybody's drunk and everybody's in love with anything when they're drunk. Everyone's like, "I love you, I love you." Of course you're gonna fall in love there because you're drunk. Don't go there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so there's this one guy. He asked for my number. I'm so new to the town, so I kind of just did it to be like, I didn't give him my number. Actually, I gave him my Snapchat because that's safer. And I'm like, I could block you if anything. Because, he was flirting with me and he was asking for it. So I was like, all right, here's my Snapchat, whatever. We kind of connected a little bit because he was from Florida and I was from Florida and we got into conversation. So I was like, maybe we could just be friends. I don't know, nothing serious. So then he messages me like 2 days later. He sees my Snapchat story that I'm somewhere nearby in the town that we both live at. And he's like, oh, huh, you're over there. You're not too far from me if you want to meet up, if you're not doing anything. And I said, no, I'm not busy. I'm free. Probably shouldn't have said that. I should have asked him what he wants to do first
Yeah.
because I didn't realize it. But it's like an hour goes by and he answers me back and he says, oh, I want you to come to my house. At this point, it's 8 o'clock at night. So I'm like, it's so late. It's like 8:30 at
And
night.
how long have
I
you known
don't,
this guy for?
yeah, I don't know that guy too well. I didn't even have a real conversation with him. It was just like
That's
oh, you're
never
from
good.
Florida? Cool. I was from Florida
Never
too.
good.
So the main thing, ladies, main thing when you first start talking to someone, this is a rule I have for myself. Rule of thumb that I have for myself is don't hang out with a guy that you don't know and you're not really sure of at night unless it's in public, not a private place. If it's in public, if it's at a restaurant, that's okay. Not at a bar, somewhere like, somewhere where you could be
Like
classy.
Starbucks or like Applebee's or like
Like,
something like
and
that.
even like Josh was saying, you usually for first dates, which I agree with, I like to go out in the morning or in the afternoon or the evening for coffee or Applebee's, something corny and stupid like that, just to meet the person face to face again and be like, hey, let's reintroduce ourselves and get to know each other on a better level, so you know what to expect from me and find out what their intentions are. That's my biggest thing. So I didn't know what this guy's intentions were because he had asked me, can you come to my crib tonight, basically? And I was like, I don't know about that because I just met you. So I
Yeah.
said, it depends on what your intentions are with me, dot, dot, dot. And then he said, what do you mean? I just want you to come over. Here's my Addy. And he's 31 minutes away. And I'm like, that's kind of far. It's
Yeah.
8:30. You're 31 minutes away. At this point, when he hit me up, it was also last minute that I was already in my pajamas. I already took my makeup off. Girls definitely don't want to go out when they take their
Well, and
makeup
it's
off.
usually also
Okay.
a red flag. Usually guys will drive to girls' house, not girls will drive to guys' house.
Yes, that too. It's like if you were really interested in me, you would have met me halfway somewhere. Yep.
And then after
One
like you've known each other for a while, then obviously if you want the girl can drive to the guy's house because they're more comfortable with it. But it's usually a safety precaution for the girl because at least if even if it was a guy that was a little sketchy, at least the girl's on her home turf, so she has a better situation. Like instead of being in an unfamiliar area, you know.
100%. All right. And then you know what happens? So this was just the universe telling me not to put myself out there. Like I was praying about it for a little bit, and this was like a clear indication. Shannon Shenanigans is not on the market for nobody. Okay. So I'm saving myself for hubby in the future because this is too crazy. So then this guy, he's texting me back and forth saying, why not? And I said, you know what? Why don't you give me a call at this point so we could like talk it out? I'm like, you know what? Let me talk to this guy. I don't really like texting. Maybe when I talk to him, he could maybe where I'll see where the conversation goes. We could work something out. Anyway, so he calls me like almost immediately when I give him my number, and I answered, and I was like, "Wow, you called fast," and like I was trying to be all sweet and like flirty, and then he goes, what did you mean by what are your intentions with me? And he got all like offended. And I was like, I'm
Defensive,
sorry if I
yeah.
offended you, but normally I didn't really have a real conversation with you yet. And that's why I decided to call you because I'm like, maybe I could get to know you over the phone call. Then he talks over me and he's like, so what part of Florida are you from? Fort Lauderdale, right? And then I said, oh, no, I'm not from Fort Lauderdale. I was from a different part. And when I went to go speak, he talks over me and he's like, so you lied to me. So you're a liar. So then he's accusing me of lying, and he said that he doesn't like liars. And then he's like, I don't understand why you won't come over.
100%
And I
red
said, well,
flags.
I'm sorry that you took that the wrong way and that I'm a liar. I was trying. It was like he wanted to start an argument with me. It was really weird. I was like, I didn't lie. I was trying to explain to him, you
Yeah.
got it confused. I've been to Fort Lauderdale. I know the area. I just don't live there. And he's like, yeah, you're a liar. I was like, okay, fine. You caught me. I'm a liar. Whatever. Let's move on because it was very weird. He kept going on. So then he's like, "Well, I just want you to come over." And I was like, can I see you another time because I don't feel comfortable going over your house." He's like, "Why not? I'm a good guy. Do you see me? You can't find anybody else like me, can you? Did you see what I look like?" And I was like, "Yeah, I saw what you look like. No one else could be me, right?" And I was like, "No, no one else can be you. I'm a model. He's good looking. I'll give him that. He was like Zac Efron type good looking. He was very good looking. He looked like he could be on Baywatch.
Oh, you also remember what happened in American Psycho with Christian Bale. Yeah, you could be good looking, but that doesn't mean that you can't be psychopathic.
Oh yeah. Crazy. He was like speaking with me about everything. It was crazy. I was literally just like lost for words. I don't know what to say. He's just coming at me. Anyway, and then so he's like, I want you to come over. He's like, if not, you'll be missing out. He basically bragged about how much money he had, how his family owns two businesses, two shops. He's about to go on the
He's
airplane
doing the most, it
tomorrow, so
sounds
I'm gonna
like.
miss him. So I have to see him before he misses his flight, right? And he's like, I'm going back to Florida. I'm not gonna be here. So you should see me before I leave. And I said, oh, well, I wish the invite wasn't last minute. I could have, if I saw you sooner, we could have done something. I said, I'm still in my pajamas. I'm tired. Tired? You're tired? I'm the one who owns all these businesses. I work my ass off. I'm a model. I travel, and you're the one who's tired. And he goes
Red
off about
flag.
himself again,
Red
his ego.
flag.
And then finally I'm like, okay. I'm like, then he goes on. He's like, please, it's up to you. You could come over and we can have breakfast in the morning. And if you decide not to come over, I'll just hang out with my friends and family tonight, and then I'll go to my flight. And I said, what time do you go to your flight tomorrow? And he's like, not till 3 in the afternoon. So I was like, perfect. We could get breakfast together instead. Let's meet somewhere and get breakfast. No, you have to wake up with me and get breakfast. Oh, so what are your intentions then? I don't really, yeah, you're just a really cute girl, and I wanted to talk to you and get to know you. And, if we have sex, we have sex. If we don't, we don't. And then I said, uh-huh, okay. You know what? That was enough for me. Have a good night. Have a safe trip to Florida. Enjoy your friends and family. And then he goes, oh, I'm getting another call. I got to let you go because he wants to be the one to hang up on me.
Oh. I don't know if I've ever met
So,
somebody as arrogant as that, but I mean,
yeah,
as a
so
small, I mean, like
arrogant.
it's weird.
And then
Like
everyone
as
at
a
work,
girl, it's one thing, but like I don't think I've ever met a guy that arrogant. Like,
yes.
because usually guys, if anything, are like, if anything, the ones that are don't like care as much. Like they're more like annoyed, but they'll be like whatever, and they'll, if
I
anything, they'll
think he
just be
was
like
mad because he was so pretty that nobody's ever said no to him. Okay. And I was the first
fair
girl
enough.
to kind of stand my ground and be like, wait a minute. I don't know. And he probably wanted to
Yeah.
get it before he went on his flight. And then get this, the next day, you didn't even know about this. The next day, I went into work. The host, like, all think he's hot. They're obsessed with him. And I told them about how much of an arrogant asshole he was. And then one of my friends said, oh my gosh, he was actually in earlier. So he lied about his flight. So, yeah, he's probably still here for all I know. And I'm probably most likely going to see him at work. And I'll be like, oh, so you're in
I
Florida
mean, who
now.
knows? He could have been lying about all that stuff. Honestly, he was saying he could have been like completely lying about everything.
I mean, I mean, I do know some of his family in this area. It's a small town, so like everyone kind of knows one another. So some stuff he didn't make up, but it was just his arrogance that made him unattractive. I don't care if you have money. I don't care how good looking you are. Like he was basically like I could put him next to Zac Efron and he's just as attractive, which is big, which is huge because I love Zac Efron. But anyone who's that cocky and arrogant and disgusting and wants to pick a fight with me, like all I want to have a simple conversation.
So
If the
yeah, you want to
conversation went
have
well, maybe I would have showed up at your
well,
house.
the idea of a
Maybe.
relationship is
A huge maybe.
communication. Even dating and relationships is about communication. If you're fighting right off the bat, it's just a lost cause at that point. Like if you're fighting like a year or two down the line, that's one thing because like you've been together, maybe you had a disagreement, but like if you're fighting like the first few days you meet each other, like that is like such a red flag. It's not even
Red
funny.
flag. Like I
Um,
told Josh today, I'm trying something new and I'm taking things slow and I'm starting friendships before I decide to start dating, which is huge for me because I'm the type of person where I've always jumped into relationships. And now I'm 25 and I'm like, yo, every relationship I jumped into has failed. I don't care how old I am. I'm taking my time.
oh,
Whoever comes, I feel like whatever's meant to be is meant to be. And, there's some people, I don't know. Am I talking to anybody? I'm talking to one person right now, and so
I'm
far it's smooth sailing. It's
I
just like
feel
we're
the same
friends,
way
we're cool.
with well, I feel the same way when it comes to that. Like, also, if you guys don't know, I have a dating advice TikTok. If you guys are interested in that, I do sports and dating advice. I will put the link in the description for my TikTok if anybody's interested. Um,
I actually always enjoy watching those. I'm not gonna lie.
because I've had so many bad experiences that and
Sad.
you've only
Hey,
heard one of
learn
them.
from
So
Josh.
yeah.
I've
So
had some more bad experiences. That wasn't even all of them. That was the most recent, but I know we don't
yeah,
got that
yeah.
much time.
Yeah,
So
that's the same thing with me. Like we
I
only
guess
shared like
follow me on Instagram and you could DM me for juicy things at
yeah,
Shay's underscore galaxy.
fair
There you go.
enough. So you got perspectives here. So you have my perspective and have her perspective as wait, there we go. For some reason if I point this way, it goes the other way. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Her perspective.
So
So
sometimes we agree on things, but sometimes we don't. It's interesting.
well, of course, like, you have the female and the male perspective as well, because like obviously it's different. You're gonna disagree and agree on different things. So it makes a lot of sense. Like I had a girl on my TikTok today for the relationship videos. Like all the guys are always like agreeing with me on most of the things, but then you'll have this. Did a video about how these girls will say like that guys have it easier than girls. I'm like that is such a lie. I don't care what anybody says. Like I definitely know that guys have it harder because put it this way, like any girl that's even like somewhat attractive looking can go up and get any guy basically, or mostly any guy that she wants. Whereas a guy that's maybe like a 3 or 4, if he walks up to like an 8 or 9 girl, like forget it. It's not gonna go well unless you have
Okay, it
absolute
depends.
charm.
It depends. That
I was gonna
depends.
say unless you have absolute charm. If you have charm, then it'll work. But if you
Yes,
don't,
you know what it is for me? I feel like confidence is a personality. Like you can wear confidence on yourself. If you love yourself and you're confident in yourself and you show that you're confident, that's what's sexy to me. Because there's been guys like you've seen the guys that I've been with. I've been with people that look like Justin Bieber to people who look like Shrek. I'm
she's Shrek.
serious. I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean. that just came out, but I know it's really cheesy, but I'm really about the soul and the personality. Like I said, like I talked to the most beautiful guy over the phone. I could have had a chance to go get it on with him, but he was so arrogant and just his personality and his vibe threw me off. It's all about the vibe for me. Like if you're
Vibes.
just like if you're a little bit humble with yourself, but you know that you're a little cute, like there's certain qualities that I find super attractive. I honestly believe that a personality can make somebody so much more attractive, even for girls. There's girls that
That's
I meet
true.
and sometimes I'll think, "Wow, that girl is so beautiful." Like not even like being lesbian, just like appreciating other women and their beauty, you
No,
know?
no, I get it. Same thing. Guys do that too. Like like we'll be like, okay, like we see like a Tom Cruise, we see like a Chris Hemsworth, we'll be like, you know what? Like
Yeah, like he's good looking.
we strive
But
to, if
what
anything, we strive to
ruins a
be those
person for
people.
me is their attitude. There's been I have a lot of experiences where a lot of people stereotype pretty girls too because like that's happened to
Yeah.
me where one girl in college one day met me and she was like, wow, you're so nice. When I first met you, I thought you were gonna be a bitch. And I was like, why? And she's like,
Wow.
because you're prettier than me. And not that I didn't think that I was, I didn't think I was considered as a pretty girl, but she considered me as a pretty girl. So I was like, okay, like quote unquote pretty girl, like mean girl, pretty girl. But there's that stereotype because of people being pretty on the outside, and then you go approach them and they have a stanky attitude or they're
Yeah.
just rude, and then it ruins it. And then you're like, you know what? You're not attractive to me anymore. I'm good.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Really.
I heard you say something about vibes. Also, if you guys want, you can subscribe to our Jam Vibes YouTube channel. I have another YouTube channel with my friend Malachi. We do vlogs and sometimes challenges and games and stuff like that. Shannon also makes guest appearances on that particular YouTube
Sometimes
channel.
when I'm actually in New
So
York, I'm not anymore.
yeah, so definitely check that. I'll also put the link in the description for that. Um, so yeah, we've done some videos before. I know we have one thing that we have in common that we like. You are really, really passionate, and that's the first thing I think I can remember about you when we first met. Is you were really passionate about music, about singing. You're also a really good singer.
Always.
And you have I remember you were really a huge super fan of like Demi Lovato. I remember that.
Oh,
Like I remember that. Like I was like I you would
that
always
was
like
a
be singing all of her
huge
songs.
phase. I had the posters of Demi Lovato all over my walls. I called myself a Lovatic, and I even had the Instagram, all Lovatic Demi
What even
Lovato.
happened to her? I haven't even seen her in like ages.
All
Like is she
right.
doing music or anything at this
I'm
point?
gonna give you my honest opinion on her. Yes, she does music, but she changed her genre to rock. She went back to the rocker
Really?
thing. She said it wasn't a phase. I love her to death. I When I think of Demi Lovato now, I think of her like a cousin that I'm concerned about. But I love her. Okay? I love
Yeah.
her, but every time I go on her Instagram, it's always something new, and this has to do with her mental health. Okay? So she's bipolar and she has personality disorders, and I really think every year she's always changing herself. One year, I don't want to judge, but I'm just saying like she goes through episodes and there's always
Money
something
doesn't make
going
you
on.
happy. Money does not make you happy. One thing to learn. You could be
Yeah,
famous, you could
like
have, like, a gazillion followers, it doesn't matter.
I remember that she was engaged one year to a boy. Literally, within like a month later, she decided she was lesbian and she was with that girl for a while. Then she broke up with that girl and then she changed her gender. And then I was like, okay. And I was trying to accept that she changed her gender to her, she was like an it. And I was like, okay, she's an it now. Okay. I'm trying to accept it. I'm trying to digest it. And then all of a sudden she switches up and she goes back to dating a boy who's punk rock and joins a punk rock band and then makes her album punk rock. And she made it
Yeah,
about like um, something with the devil, her new
yeah.
album.
I don't mess with
Sorry, I
that
can't
as a
remember what it was, but
I
she's
don't
still
mess with
talented,
that.
don't get me wrong. The song was amazing. I still love her as a person. She has a really good heart. It's just she goes through these episodes sometimes where I can't keep up. I'm
Well,
like, "Demi, what are
I
you
think
doing? You're engaged,
we
and then you're not engaged, and then you're lesbian, and then you're not, and then you're like not even human, and
well,
then
I
all of
don't
a sudden you're
honestly
human
think that
again and
has
you're
to
with a man.
do
I don't know what's going on." So, just
well,
you don't know what to expect from
I'm just
Demi.
saying I
Just
don't think that
expect.
has to necessarily do with the artist per se. I think it's just people go through phases, I think, because we don't talk enough about in artists with mental health. I really think like you've seen it with Selena Gomez too. Like I was one of my favorites growing up when it comes to like pop and stuff like that. Like these artists, like a lot of times they do the actions that they do is because they really are looking for help in mental health, and like nobody's really willing to help them. They just are expected to go on tours, they're expected to make movies, they're
And it's
expected to do
crazy
all
too, 'cause
this.
Selena Gomez, out of all the people, was the last girl that I thought would be depressed. Like, she really was, but, like, honestly, I can relate to her so much because you just keep on she's super sweet girl, and she's nice to everybody, and she always has a smile on her face, and you'd, like, never guess that she was hurting too. It's like, I can relate to that sometimes where it's like you stay strong for other people and for the cameras and for your job
But you don't see
and then
what's behind
behind
the
the
camera.
scenes.
Yeah. So oh wow. Okay, so it looks like we are at the 10-minute warning. I got the notification. That's fine because we got plenty of time still. Um anyway, so like I was saying, like we're huge into the acting and the singing thing. Like I actually have my SAG after membership card, so I do acting as you know. Yeah, I've been if you guys don't know, if you're new to me, like, you'll see it on my TikToks and some of my YouTube videos with Jam Vibes and stuff like that. I am an actor. Like, I'm trying to break it into the scene. But right now I'm doing real estate while I'm paying for the bills, making that a career. I'm actually doing pretty good in that. But I also do acting when I get roles in the New York area, which New York is pretty prominent because behind LA and they got Georgia too, but like New York is pretty prominent comes to acting. And you just applied for The Voice, which is great. I think that that's a really good thing. I think that you're really talented in that
It's
aspect. I
supposed to be
actually
secret in case I make it.
I mean, you'll make it though. Even if you don't, I know that they just made a bad decision because you're good. I've heard this girl, guys, like probably sing so many times in my lifetime, and put this way, if they don't select her, they really don't know what they're talking about. Same
Oh,
thing for
thank
me.
you.
Same thing for me. Like I've been in chorus. I was in high school in chorus. I was in chamber choir, all county choir, and then I went to college. I did plays. I did all chamber choir, gospel choir. I've been in all types of choirs. Like I have a singing background as well. Maybe at one point me and Shannon will have to collab on something, and maybe like we'll get on that. But we were both, I would say, pretty multi-talented in that aspect of the entertainment industry and knowing the ins and outs of it.
We should make
Um,
skits together for fun. Do you think people would
Actually,
actually
you know
watch it?
what? For Jam Vibes, we're actually doing that. That's our next idea. We're doing skits. So again, check out
Okay,
Jam
so when I
Vibes,
come up to
everybody.
New York,
We're doing a skit.
mhm,
So that's the main idea of what we do. We really enjoy music and acting, and so like I guess we could do this really quickly, a speed round because we only have 7 minutes and 49 seconds left. Let's do our top five favorite artists, not in any particular order, music wise. Maybe our top five favorite actors, not in any particular order. It doesn't matter as long as you just think of your five best of each, and then we'll see what if we can agree or disagree. I mean, I guess I can go first since you're thinking about it. For
yeah.
me, when it comes to music, I have to have my number one is The Weeknd. I think that's absolutely always been my number one. He's got me through a lot of tough times, and I still listen to his music, and I think he has the best sound and feel, and he's got a really good voice. That's number one. I like Eminem, which of course, like everyone's just like, oh, Eminem, it's because you're white, right? And it's like, no, it's just because I like Eminem. I like Tory Lanez too. That's in my number three, and he's not white, so
I like
or
him
me,
too.
so he's really good. I like Doja Cat. Doja Cat, and she's just
Ah,
something else.
ah.
So and then probably it's tough. I like Nicki too. Or Justin Bieber. Like those are probably like tough between like the number five spot.
Okay, I know it's not really a popular opinion. Some people don't like her, but Billie Eilish because she's so different, and I respect her for being totally different. And I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift's new songs. But I have
For
to give
old
it to
stuff.
Taylor Swift because I know the industry and I know making royalties off of your song and copyrights and stuff like that. She makes the most money and she has been for years because she makes and records her songs herself. She is so smart and she got famous off of just writing and going into the recording studio and demanding them like when she was at a young age, like 12 years old. She would go in there like, "Please give me a label, give me a record deal, give me a record deal." She is smart and I respect her for the way that she writes her music and comes up with that stuff. So I don't really like her new albums. I don't listen to them. I like her older stuff, but I respect her as an artist and as a person. And she's someone I look up to in the music industry. I take notes. Rihanna, Beyonce, Christina Aguilera. I like everybody. Mostly R&B is more my thing. I
Yeah,
can,
I feel
but
that.
if we're talking about like reasons why I like the people, I because I'm so serious about music and I actually write my own music, I study and I pay attention to how people do things and how they go about things and how they make their money and how they write. Taylor Swift writes everything herself from the music to the lyrics, and that's why she makes the most. Ariana Grande, if you think about it, her song Seven Rings, she only got 12% of that song like paid
Really?
for herself. The rest went to the rest of the
Actually didn't
percent
know that.
because in Seven Rings, it was not her lyrics, it was not her music, it was only her voice.
5 minute warning. I'm just letting you know. So
Okay. Sorry, I went
we
on
gotta
a
try to
music
speed
rant
through
there,
it.
but
We
I
gotta go in
study.
so we got like I think we got like you got three. I think that was three. No, we might have got four or five there. I
No, I
didn't
got
count
5.
there. Okay, so acting wise, I think I'm gonna have to go with My favorite has always been Eddie Murphy. I've always liked Eddie Murphy. I've been a big fan of Jim Carrey as well.
Me too.
Who else? Probably it was just tough. Because you got to really think about it.
What's the guy from the Elf again?
Will Ferrell. Yeah, I'm guessing you like him.
Mhm.
So yeah, Eddie Murphy, Jim Carrey. Big fan of like Arnold. You know Arnold, like all the Terminator movies and stuff like that. So same thing with Sylvester Stallone. He's pretty good too. And probably, you got to throw in Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler's classic.
Yeah, I like Adam Sandler, but he always plays the same personality in every movie.
See, he
Like
died out after the 2000s. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not. I know this is blasphemous to say, but I think that
after Grown Ups, that was all he could do.
Adam Sandler is great, but for the hype he gets, he's a little overrated. I still like him, but I think he's a little bit overrated.
You know what though? Because he's just I feel like he belongs in the early 2000s and that's it. Because he
Yeah,
has the
or not
same
in the 90s.
personality in every movie. It's like this it's the same guy, different role.
Yeah, yeah.
But my favorite movie by him was the one where he took care of that little kid.
Big Daddy.
Maybe yeah, Big Daddy, that was good.
Yeah, yeah,
But like
that
that's
was
my
good.
favorite
But
one. But yeah, after Grown
that
Ups,
was
it
with
was
the
like he
Sprouses. You remember the
definitely got
Sprouses?
got overrated.
Remember the Sprouses like Sweet Life, Zach and Cody?
Yes, they're the
They
ones that
actually,
played the
yep,
kid.
a lot of people don't remember that because they always remember them from Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, but they didn't realize they were also young enough to be that part. We're just under 3 minutes, so I think we should end it off on a fun story time. Do you have any fun story times of us that you could think of?
Just the time that you were in 4-H and you were showing me your bunny rabbits. I don't know. And then
So
you had your
I
drama because you liked a girl in 4-H.
Oh no, not that. That was like I can't even believe that was me at that one point. I've definitely glowed up since then. Anyway, I think I could remember a time that we had a party just not too long ago at my house, a Super Bowl party, and you and a bunch of people came over, and I'll never forget. I provided like at least 5 bottles of different things and alcoholic beverages, and I can remember this was hilarious because you didn't have any fear of just going right into it with the alcohol. And I think that I can remember a memory that was hilarious how you probably drank had to be like 6 or 7 shots. You were just going crazy with it.
No, I
You
didn't. Did I?
Yes, you did. You would do like doubles and triples sometimes, and you were just like, yo, like this is great, like, like having a great time, stuff like that. And I remember you took a picture. We took a picture. We were all as a group taking a picture after the game, and you were like laying on my car.
I
And so,
forgot about that.
yes, I have the picture. I have
It
the
was
picture. I might actually put the picture in
oh
the
my god, it
caption.
was winter time. It was freezing and I was wearing like nothing. I don't know why I did that. I was just
You were
like I
having a good
said, like
time. You were
when you get
having a good
drunk, you
time.
get in love with everybody and everything. But I didn't do anything like that. I
No, yeah,
wasn't
you were
crazy.
fine. You were fine. You behaved yourself, but I just thought that was a little bit hilarious. And so like I forget, I think Malachi
Shenanigans.
drove you home. I think Malachi drove you home that night. So that yeah, because you definitely
Okay, I
we're
vaguely
on the
remember
one
that, but
minute
now that you
warning.
say it again, it's all coming back to me now.
We're
Yeah,
gonna have
that
to
was
wrap it up,
fun.
unfortunately, because we are less than a minute. But that was a really good memory. Again, thank you, Shannon, for taking the time. I really appreciate it. We had a really good time. A really good talk.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really glad that you took the time, and you're always welcome. So we'll have to definitely catch up sometime. But as I was saying, it's been the Just Joshin podcast, and we'll see you next time.
See you. Peace out.